इतना मजा आया, इतनी फास्ट पेस इंडस्ट्री थी कि it felt right. Either accident के through ही आया, and I had absolutely no plan of coming over here. Having like great CGPAs and being top of the class, and they do not do too well because they have not ever seen failures.
Assalamu alaikum, Faizan. How are you today?
Waqar, I'm doing fine.
Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure, man.
The point of having this show is to meet all those people who are doing, who are part of some modern industry, which a lot of people are not aware of, and see कि वो अपना experience क्या share कर सकते हैं about their journey, about the potential of that industry, so that these students who are still studying can get some guidance. So you're going to be my first guest. Why don't we I know that you are like heavily invested in the gaming industry, but Faizal, let's start with your introduction.
I did my telecom communication bachelor's from FAST Lahore in 2010. I did some sales and marketing role in a textile chemical distribution company for 2 years. In 2012, I went ahead and did my MBA from LAMS.
Mhm.
And in 2014, I graduated, and since 2014, I've been part of the mobile gaming development industry here in Pakistan. Rated as one of the best mobile gaming studios here in Pakistan. We have
Right.
published tens and hundreds of games over this course of 8 years, and I here I am leading multiple different products. I'm a senior product manager over here, and my 8 year journey over here has resulted in me managing different teams and different products, and
Mhm.
working with different international publishers and different stakeholders from all across the world. Has given me a lot of exposure, a lot of new horizons have opened up for me
Mhm.
since joining Mindstorm, and I feel that I'm really blessed to be part of such a such industry.
Very nice, very nice. So 8 years throughout, you've been part of the same industry and seem like same company. But let's take a step back. I want you to go back to that time when you did your MBA with your other batchmates, and now you're ready to join the economy and start working. तो क्या उस वक्त choices थी, क्या thought process था? My assumption is कि gaming industry wouldn't have been like top of your mind that this is the industry you're going to go after. So let's go back at that point and tell me how are you looking at your job prospects and your planning around that.
Viveka, you're absolutely right. Even in my final months of the MBA program, being part of a mobile gaming industry, कभी ज़हन में भी नहीं आया था. And if I really think about it, so it's probably has to do more about how we are brought up here in the Pakistani community. So अगर मैं इसको उससे relate करूँ कि like जो जो हमारे पेरेंट्स की जनरेशन थी उसमें the top few professions would be an engineer or a doctor, and as kids who are growing up, जो हमें एडवाइस मिलती है from the people we really trust, and that is our parents, वो ये है कि यार you choose something like this. So जैसे जब मैंने A levels किया था 2005-2006 में, and I had a choice कि अच्छा अब क्या करना चाहिए, तो so मेरा ये opinion है कि if people eventually end up in like futuristic industries, and I would consider mobile gaming, which is a modern version of entertainment, as a futuristic industry, if they actually end up over there, so it is most probably by an accident, or I would say कि maybe either accident के through ही आया, and I had absolutely no plan of coming over here,
Mhm.
or and उसमें a lot of credit indirectly goes to my parents, जिन्होंने मुझे 2005 में एक इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटी भेजा, जहाँ पर I created a lot of friends who did telecommunication, who did computer science, and by the time मेरा MBA भी हो गया था, I still had a lot of good connections in that space. और
Right.
वो लोग थे जो कि 2010 से लेकर 2014 तक they were part of the tech space.
Right.
और they would tell me यार कि अच्छा यहाँ पे तो ये काम हो रहा है, वहाँ पे वो काम हो रहा है, and naturally जो जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपको इंडस्ट्री के अंदर के बंदों से मिलते हैं, आपके अपने पेयर से मिलते हैं, वो एक बहुत ही अप टू डेटेड नॉलेज होती है. सो वंस after the MBA, I finally started looking at opportunities. So I reached out to a lot of people, a lot of old friends, जिनमें से most of them were in the either in the app development or in mobile game development, or this opportunity came up.
Hmm.
Uh, so I had a few friends who were already working over there. So we explored this. I met the CEO over here, and the interview went pretty well. लेकिन
Yeah, I
वैसे ही था
remember.
यार, इतना मजा आया, इतनी फास्ट पेस इंडस्ट्री थी कि इट फेल्ट राइट, और उसके
Right.
बाद आई स्टेड ओवर.
Zabardast. Acha, it's Zabardast. This is a very typical journey that a lot of people have gone through. I totally get it. Acha, let's talk about like it seems like Mindstorm is a great company. I can look at your office; it looks amazing. But before we talk about company, I guess that when anybody joins a company, they're actually becoming part of an industry, and that company is kind of participant in that. So they are not just part of that company, they're part of that industry, because similar to companies in the same industry, you are potentially valuable to them as well. For me, how would you describe this industry in terms of its potential that it offers?
Well, I would say there's a big misconception regarding industry that to programmers you need to have some technical expertise or ability to actually go into the tech field. इसलिए just to give you example, uh, the product, the marketing and project management roles in IT companies, they are huge. To give you some context, we even at here at Mindstorm, we have some of our best paying jobs are for non programming related roles, because these are also very sensitive, very these individuals contribute a lot to the overall revenue of the studio.
Right.
uh, and to put some numbers to it, so uh, in last year in 2021, about $60 billion was spent in mobile game advertising, and by
Okay.
2025 it's expected to grow by 140 billion. So all of this spending, it would not be done by very very tech savvy or very programmers, but they would be done by marketing individuals, business analysts, because you're going to run campaigns, you're going to analyze campaigns. So any other studio or any other company where such roles are needed, those are similar kind of skills and experience are also needed in mobile game studios or in any other IT studios.
So, in terms of like you said, there's a huge potential internationally. But let's talk about the gaming space, game development space now within our country, Pakistan. So, do you like how like कितने इसमें new businesses are coming up? कितनी hiring उसमें हो रही है? क्या demand है resources की? क्या lack of resources is a problem or not? What's your thought on that?
Well, there new studios opening up left, right, and center as we speak.
Uh-huh.
This is especially since 2019. Turkey has really blown up, and there's a lot of
Oh,
investment which is coming from Turkey to Pakistan. So a lot of companies and CEOs from Turkey are coming over here in Pakistan. They are setting up their regional game studios divisions over here, and
okay.
this space is like really blossoming over the last 3 years. And one of the reasons for that is the smartphone adoption all around the world is growing. There are new consumers which are getting added, and they and the industry is targeting basically everybody. And that's the reason, as in multiple different channels of investments are coming over here. But as you said that the the basic ecosystem for to support this is not necessarily there. It is a challenge to hire good individuals both from the tech space or from from the business background to
Hmm.
actually come in and excel in here, because uh, it is a very competitive industry. Like any game which is published in the Google on the Google Play Store or on Apple App Store is essentially a direct competition to your own games, which are also competing for the same users,
Right,
for the same downloads.
right.
So anybody with decent, coding skills or half a brain can actually launch their app, and they can actually
Hmm.
enter that market. So it is very competitive. The barrier to entry in this industry is very low. That's why there are multiple
Right,
hundreds of like 3 to 5 people studio which are like operating, and Lahore is the biggest hub.
right,
Lahore being has the most number of game studios. Then comes Karachi, and then comes Islamabad, and mostly for people from other parts of Pakistan come to these cities to actually be part of it. But the main problem does exist that there is a lack of resources, capable resources to actually compete, by producing top quality games and actually compete against the best performing games in the market. So
right.
that is one of the problems that exists.
So that it seems like there's huge potential in this space that you already talked about, or on daily, weekly basis. Where there are new companies that are getting set up, new studios that are getting set up because low barrier to entry है. uh, और it also shows कि इसके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा demand है. That's why these new studios are coming up and they're surviving, they're making money. यहाँ पे एक question है layman कि ये जिस तरह आपने बताया कि anybody with the decent coding skills, a smart person can think of a game, they can design it, they can keep game का core loop उन्होंने बनाया, it's very addictive, and they will put that on a store and it will start getting downloaded, and then there's going to be ad money and lot of way they're going to monetize that. ये तो कर सकते हैं, but now specifically जो business background के लोग हैं, what value do they create over here, number one? And also talk to me about you as a business grad, because I know you didn't do coding
Yeah.
and you don't know how to do that. So what is it that you do, that like you're in this industry for a very long time, what do you do, like specifically the task, so that our audience could know कि अच्छा अगर मैं business background से हूँ तो these will be the things I'll be taken care of if I join the gaming industry.
All right. So my first role in the company was a live ops manager. So basically, you can think of it as somebody who was tasked to increase the revenue of the game. So let's
Okay.
say we were making $10,000 a month, as example. My
Right.
goal would be to have some competitions in the game, some special events or some sales and some offers, and target a certain number of users. So we have this term in the industry that is called whales. So anybody who spent over $1,000 in a game, we call that a whale. So we want people to focus. If somebody has spent in the game, we want them to target them with more of customized sales to upsell different items to them. So that
Right.
was my first role. And such a role only requires analysis of all the current data that you already have regarding your spenders, or your potential spenders who can be converted into
Right.
future whales. So my role would completely be sitting and having opened my Excel sheet, reviewing as in what are the events or different competition that these spenders are engaging with, and offering or designing similar other competitions where they would have other and more avenues to spend. And there are other different different philosophies and different things that we can have that make create that impulse for them to keep on spending, be it
Right.
a spend or be it have make them watch ads through which we can earn revenue.
Right.
So So basically it's a very detailed consumer behavior science. And generally your programmers are not equipped with doing such an analysis. So your business grads are the perfect
Right.
people who have to have you in
Then,
your team to actually do this analysis for you.
so I guess that के जो एक developer या game developer है, they have made a product. It could be any game, but if you define that that's a product, okay, and it offers some sort of entertainment or recreational value to a specific audience depending upon the game genre. Now it will be the responsibility of the business guys to make sure that they get that monetized. And some of the ways you do that, you just kind of talked about that, कि आपके कौन से लोग हैं जो users हैं which are just spending more money on that game. How can you upsell them within the game, maybe some, I don't know, weapons, gems, or whatever. And similarly, you try to find similar people and using the digital tools available to target them.
Yep.
But in a nutshell, you will be responsible for monetizing and bringing in the revenue, right?
Absolutely. And even before starting a product, there's a lot of market research which is done to actually what kind of a product or what kind of a game to kick off. So that
Right.
also requires a lot of research and analysis to actually pick what the studio should be picking up
Right.
next. So for Mindstorm, we have a certain research done which we are going to follow for the next, at least for the next year. So,
Yeah.
which is a lot different from what we did in the last 2 years. So the market
So
keeps on changing. So you need to keep on updating your research as well.
yeah, I guess the main concepts and principles are the same. Like anybody who wants to go to Nestle as a company is also thinking about that. Okay, what should be my next product? It should be some sort of coffee or some sort of juice box or whatever that is, and they do some research. कि हमने किस तरह की जो ना एक product market में लानी है, and then how are you going to market that? ठीक है. एंड देन उसका रेवेन्यू और सारा सेल्स, बस इसमें है थोड़ा सा ये डिजिटल है तो इट्स सेम कॉन्सेप्ट, बट द टूल्स एंड द मीडियम्स आर गोना बी डिफरेंट. यू मे नॉट बी प्लेइंग अ टीवी commercial, but maybe you're targeting your potential users on YouTube or
Hmm.
Facebook, wherever they are, but the
Yep.
concept is the same, right?
Yep. Absolutely. The concept is the same, but on steroids. Because by the time Nestle is going to launch one product, we're going to, launch 5 games, and we're probably going to, fail multiple times. And at the same time, our cost of failing is not as high as a Nestle product,
Right.
being deemed as a failure.
Okay.
So, but on our end, there's like constant, this hunt for new ideas or this hunt for new game design and how to, best influence the consumer behavior to actually watch more ads and watch and spend more in the game.
Awesome. My last question, whatever information you're providing is really, really awesome. I really appreciate that. The last question is, okay, now I think after spending like close to a decade in this space, you must be doing a lot of hiring on the non-tech side in your company. So talk to me a little bit about, okay, what do you see? What are the top 3 or 4 skills, or what type of expertise or potential that you look for in the business grads specifically that you'd like to hire in the on the business side of the things, in your opinion?
Well, and I've been hiring people for many years. In the last 2 to 3 years, my hiring philosophy has changed a lot,
Mhm.
and and since the last 3 years, the business side people that I've hired, they've achieved a lot more success. And my new philosophy is, what I look for is, people with not a lot of ego, because like I said, that this is a industry which works on steroids. And even in the last 12 months, I personally have worked on 4 products, and at the moment, one of them is close to getting published, which is close to getting launched. So
Very
you
nice.
see a lot failures in this. And I've seen very passionate, very committed people to come on board, and having like great CGPA, and being top of the class, and they do not do too well because they have not ever seen failures in their academic career or
Very
in
nice.
that they've done. Yep.
Faizan, thank you so much for your time. I hope the experience that you have shared and the insight that you have provided would be helpful for the business grads who are looking to join the industry in the coming months or years. All right, that's great. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you soon again. Take care.